was in the White House when he nominated Clarence Thomas for the Supreme Court. At the time, not one woman sat on the Senate Judiciary Committee during the Anita Hill hearings. Now this is truly the year of the woman. So I raise a toast to you and to everyone who marched, wrote, called, campaigned, made art, wrote songs, and dug deep to put everything you had on the table to stand up for justice, human rights, inclusion, and environmental protection. We achieved a monumental success. And now we must turn to the children who are standing here today and in our homes and in our communities and recognize the burden they will carry to continue the excruciatingly hard work of fixing what has been ill in this country for a very long time. Honor their strength, their intelligence, and their courage. Hold them up, hold them close, educate them, and guide them to bring to fruition the promise of what this country can be. I believe that with our leadership,
Hi there. Can I ask you a question?
I'm with the media, so you might want someone that's here for the protest.
Do you mind? Or
I'm covering the event, so I don't know if you want to talk to someone that's here for the event.
okay. Great. Hi. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
My first question is, are you familiar with the crisis revolving around the missing and murdered Indigenous women of the U.S., Canada, and South America?
No, not 100%.
Okay. How many of your friends and family are familiar with it?
Are you familiar with that? Are you familiar? Do you want to...
The missing and murdered women, Indigenous women of the U.S., Canada, and South America?
Yeah, we're from Brazil, so we are super aware of the...
Great. How many of your friends and family are familiar with that or affected by it?
I think most people know, but not that much people care.
Yeah. Okay. And how is your community active on these issues?
I don't think, well, you know, like now our voices are being heard, and there is like a big movement for the Indians in Brazil that their land is being taken from the government. So I think that is a little bit more on the news, and you know, people know a little more about, like, we talk about Indians more, but not so much about women being murdered, or you know, it's more specific kind of thing. Yeah, so you know, it's a pity, but
Why do you think that is, in your opinion?
well, because of money, because of interest of the government, you know, they don't care about other people, they care more about the money. So taking the land from the Indians are more important than just giving back their protection and let them take care of it, because they do it, you know. So we're fighting against it. That's why ele não, that is the president of Brazil that we got right now, and we don't want him. We don't want like him.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hi, can I ask you a question? Or a series of 3 questions?
Sure.
Okay. Can I film you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Say it loud because I can't hear it.
So my question is, are you familiar with the crisis revolving around the missing and murdered Indigenous women of the U.S., Canada, and South America?
No, I'm not.
Okay, cool. How many of your friends and family are familiar?
How many friends and family are what?
Are familiar with the issue?
I don't know.
Okay. And how is your community active on these issues?
How many people are with me? 2, my wife and I.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
All right.
He made a comment about, like, he has...
What was that? What was that thing you were... No, I didn't.
Hey, Curtis!
Power to the people right now.
All right. Yeah. Loud and proud, guys. Hi. So my first question is, are you aware of the issues revolving around the missing and murdered Indigenous women of North America, Canada, and South America? Okay. And how many of your friends and family are familiar with that subject?
I don't think many.
Okay. All right, very good. And if any, have you seen in your community anyone representing these issues?
Very minorly, if at all. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Are you aware of the crisis revolving around the missing and murdered Indigenous women of North America, Canada, and South America?
I'm aware that that's been going on for decades, if not longer than that.
Okay. And how many of your friends and family are aware of these issues?
Less than 50%. Probably, I would say a lot of the people in my parents' generation, they were pretty active hippies, and so they were pretty, I think, aware of a lot of social issues that were going on in general, and travelers as well, so maybe throughout the world. But in terms of my general community members and my children and their generation, I think fewer and fewer. I think that our national media is very focused on by very few people. The Associated Press is providing the same information to all the different news sources that most people have access to, and everybody's getting fed a very specific and limited perspective that doesn't involve anything like that or many of the other injustices that are being regularly practiced around the globe.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
My question is, are you aware of the crisis revolving around the missing and murdered Indigenous women of North America, Canada, and South America?
I have read sketchy information about it. In that, I don't think the media and the population as a whole know much about it. I do know that there is a crisis, and those disappearances are left uninvestigated, and usually those who are gone stay gone. So I do believe more attention needs to be directed to that issue.
Okay. How many of your friends and family are aware of these issues?
I have no idea.
And what are precautions that your community is taking to face these issues, if any?
In the Mid-Willamette Valley, I'm unaware of any missing Indigenous people.
Thank you. Are you aware of the crisis revolving around the missing and murdered Indigenous women of North America, Canada, and South America?
I would say I am, but not as deeply as a lot of people are aware, but I know it happens, and it's a overlooked or unlooked at problem, a serious problem.
And how many friends or family do you think are aware of these issues?
Well, my brother was an attorney at the Rosebud Reservation, but this is 30 years ago. But overall, I don't think that aware. So we need to make the awareness more striking.
Okay. And what, if any, are community members that you are, sorry, let me rephrase that. What is your community doing to face these issues or address these issues?
Nothing that I'm aware of.
Okay, thank you.
If I went to Peace House, issues like that would come up, but I don't go to Peace House. So there's some organizations, but not much, I don't think.
Right, yeah, and that's exactly what I'm trying to bring awareness to. All right, I'm gonna get kind of close.
That's unfortunate.
All right.
Okay.
So, are you aware of the crisis revolving around the missing and murdered Indigenous women of North America, Canada, and South America?
No, I know about just women being taken in the sex trafficking in general, but I didn't know that it was specific towards Native American women. But yeah, we do know about it, and it's kind of a big deal here in Medford, actually, too. Like almost like a mecca because of the I-5.
Yeah.
Like it's just coming in and out. Like
Come and go.
yeah,
And then Portland's right up there.
right. And California's
Straight to Canada.
right.
Okay. And how many family or friends you have? How many friends or family that you have do you think are aware of this issue?
Probably my whole family, because my mom's super open about all that stuff, and my mom's half Mexican, so it's kind of a big ordeal just even being a woman of any kind of color, so it's kind of a big deal. My mom's always like, be aware of what's going on, make sure no one's sketch is around all the time.
Yeah.
Even now, I'm still like kind of sketched out, even though I've got all these people. I'm like, please.
That's very true. I feel like people that don't have people in their life even to make them aware of that, this is kind of a way for them to be aware, you know, people that don't have moms or family, because this is a family, so yeah.
Awesome. And what are precautions, or how is your community addressing these issues?
Ooh, that I couldn't tell you, because in my opinion, our cops are more focused on the drugs, do you know what I mean, that flow through Medford than anything. So I don't know if they're really, I don't know too much about that, if they're really taking a step in the right direction, because I know we're really more focused on the heroin and meth that flows through here too. So, but I feel like they kind of correlate quite a bit. So you'd think they'd be focusing on everything, but
Are you aware of the crisis revolving around the missing and murdered Indigenous women of North America, Canada, and South America?
Yes, I am. That's why I'm wearing red today. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Just any other questions?
All right, and how many of your family or friends are aware of these issues?
Like I think my grandparents are and stuff. I mean, yeah, like I told my parents about it last night and stuff, so now my parents know more about it and stuff. But like, yeah, like after finding, I went to SOU. I went to this documentary and stuff. I watched this documentary and stuff, and after that, I'm just going to tell all my family and friends. I'm going to tell them all about that and stuff now.
Great. What was the documentary called?
I forgot it was. Highway of Tears.
Awesome. And how is your community addressing issues revolving around the missing and murdered Indigenous women?
Well, I think SOU is handling it very like SOU is spreading a lot of awareness about it and stuff. So I think that's very good and stuff. And just like, you know, there's a lot of representation here and stuff today. Like this issue was brought up and stuff. So just I think it's just great that a lot of people know about it now, and all this violence, all these deaths, they can now be prevented now and stuff. It's now that more governments, more people in like local governments know about it and stuff. So it's just great that more people are aware about it now, I think. So yeah, I think I think a lot of people know about it now.
Good. Are you aware of the crisis revolving around missing and murdered Indigenous women of North America, Canada, and South America?
Not specifically, no.
And How many friends or family do you think are aware of these issues?
I couldn't say.
And what is your community doing to address these issues?
I'm not really sure. I don't feel like I have much of a community.
Okay, I'll start the series of 3 questions.
You have to speak louder to hear you over the speaker there.
Okay. Are you aware of the crisis revolving around missing and murdered Indigenous women of North America, Canada, and South America?
Only a little bit.
Would you like to elaborate a little bit?
I've seen some headlines. I haven't read articles.
Okay. And how many of your friends or family do you think are aware of these issues?
That I don't know.
If you could guess like a percentage. Okay. And what is your community doing to address these issues?
I was raised by a woman.
I don't know what my community's doing. I know what I'm doing and my friends are doing.
Would you like to elaborate on that?
Just loving people who are in front of me, you know. If there's women who are, you know, missing out because of some injustice, I want to help them.
Okay. Thank you so much. Are you aware of the crisis revolving around missing and murdered Indigenous women of North America, Canada, and South America?
I am. I didn't know South America had the same issues.
Yeah.
I am, yes.
Do you want to elaborate on your experience or your background?
Sure. Because I'm Native American, my tribe is from northern Minnesota, White Earth, Minnesota. And I know that there are, and I've been to a lot of reservations between here and there. And it's a third world country, and a lot of people in America here, North America, don't realize that that it's like third world countries. You don't get backing by the police. It's very unsafe for women.
Okay. How many members of your family or friends do you think are aware of these issues or affected by these issues?
My family, all my family are aware of those problems, and a lot of my friends too. As a matter of fact, my friend and I were just talking about it. She's very involved in the movement to try and figure out what's going on, how to get help. And I also worked for state police, and we had a person committing crimes in Portland, picking young people up, offering them work, and killing them on the Warm Springs Reservation because he knew that he wouldn't get caught. Chances of getting caught were very slim.
Because of the laws?
Because of the laws, because you're jurisdictional. The local police can't do anything without the tribal police. The tribal police have to go to the FBI. I mean, and the communication isn't always great because they're just Indians. You know, that's the way the police officers usually feel about it. Sad. The way the guy got caught was one of his victims that he was molesting. And he took him off the highway, Highway 26, probably about 10 miles, and he started molesting him, took his shoes and his clothes. This young man ran 10 miles back to the highway, and that's how they caught this guy, because he had a witness now to what he was doing. Sad.
What is your community doing to address these issues?
Well, I'm trying to offer support for every young girl that I know that might be experiencing domestic violence in her home, because it starts at a young age. So whatever I can do to volunteer to help.
Okay, so you're breaking up that normalization of abuse towards women.
A lot of people ask me why is it so hard for the young girls, people on the reservations, and you don't have a clue. It's been happening for 100 years, you know, the oppression. So how do you break that mold? It's been happening to our fathers, our grandfathers, our grandmothers, our great-grandparents, all the way down the line.
Thank you so much.